Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm interested in taking a look at some of the exciting projects of that. That would be F-Droid, and let's try to understand why this project got started and what this project is all about. I'm taking a look at online resources and some information out there. From there, we can jump on the company's website and try to understand a little bit better about the project itself and what information is available up there. Let's start with F-Droid and what it's all about. It's an open source software repository for Android application. It is a platform that allows users to browse, install, and update applications on their Android devices. What sets F-Droid apart from other app repositories like some of the top ones out there, it is focused on free and open source software. All the applications available on F-Droid are open source and adhere to certain licensing criteria. Again, so I'm not entirely sure. I have seen other repositories up there, and it could be very costly, especially for whatever reasons, perhaps some of the legal frameworks, different governments, and sometimes even if I'm up there looking to do business with any of the projects, sometimes depending on what location or geographical locations myself are in or whatever case might be, right? It's not necessarily I would be able to access some of those softwares up there available. So perhaps there's a lot of things that are happening in the background that not necessarily everyone knows about. Key features of F-Droid include open source software, which is great. I guess at least the idea behind it, how some of those projects would get started. After time, they would potentially would look to generate profit, right? So perhaps those things like open source or how we would like to generate money coming in or finance all the projects or things might change, but at least idea behind it. I'm talking about very unique projects. Perhaps this particular project is not this kind of way, but either way, we need to generate the money somehow, right? Open source software, F-Droid exclusively hosts open source applications. This means that the users can access the source code of the applications, modify it, and or distribute their versions. Number two, security. F-Droid aims to provide secure and privacy respecting, respecting, not respecting, but perhaps protecting and all the good things, right? Because they need to generate money somehow, right? So perhaps they would sell their user information. Some of the projects might approach their work this particular way, but seems that this project is up there respecting all of its privacy of users, right? The source code of each app is reviewed, and all platform provides a certain repository for users to download apps without relying on proprietary app stores. Perhaps those other app stores, but so perhaps there's something unique about this particular way. I'm not entirely sure about all the differences, but perhaps worth taking a look at and try to understand what it's like doing business with any of those organizations and why some of those organizations decide to do business with some companies and not with others. Number 3. No registration required. Users can download and install apps from F-Droid without the need for an account. Sometimes they will collect some information even there, right? Like a banking information, the ID card information, whatever case might be, right? The banking ID, the location. They can collect all this information and use whatever they think is right at the time. Since policies and requirements is changing all the time, right? So it seems like they are not collecting any of that, which is kind of great, I guess, for as long as they're doing it. But as they scale, as they grow, they might start doing it. This can be advantageous for users who prioritize privacy. So this is how most of the projects got started, which is kind of great. But yeah, this is what they're doing right now, as we know. Number 4, automatic updates. F-Droid notifies users when updating for the install applications are availability. Users can then choose to update individual apps or all apps at once. So that's kind of cool, I guess. It's a I'm looking at different things, right? I'm looking at terms of use and perhaps services. So all those once those updated, and then they slowly some of those projects start sharing all the information with everyone. So this is how hopefully this project won't become one of those projects, right? Number 5, anti-features. F-Droid includes information about potential anti-features in apps such as tracking or use of proprietary components. This transparency helps users make informed decisions about the software they install. Yeah, but I mean, I get it, but sometimes what other projects would do, so since they need to either confirm or deny it, they would use different language, right? And they would try to hide everything by using different language. So they would reinvent new words. Some of those top technology companies, this is what they always do. Some of those projects to circumvent some of the legal framework, what would be required to hiring and staff. Just to put things into perspective, they would invent new processes, they would invent new procedures. So legal framework would not apply to those, right? But they would do very close or very similar things as if already a legal framework would be established, right? But I guess it's a Darwin, right? We constantly evolving and things are constantly changing, right? We're reinventing things, right? But hopefully. So let's see if this project does. We have some expectations there, right? Number 6, community driven. Okay, good. Hopefully, right? So someone's listening to community, so there's a sense of community there. Perhaps not necessarily customer driven who is actually using it, but community. So there would be a voices up there, and it would be a system in place where feedback loop, right? So there's a lot of feedback, and people working on this project will constantly look to improve this project, which is kind of interesting way to think about things, right? I guess. F-Droid is maintained and developed by volunteers and or broader open source community. It relies on contributions from developers and users to expand its catalog or applications, right? But either way, so they can pick and choose, right? What they would like to listen to, what they not necessarily like to listen to. So, how much control, if anything, how much control community actually has? None, if anything. They would like to engage with community, if anything. To use F-Droid, users need to download F-Droid app and install it in the Android devices if it's something that you're interested in. I'm not supporting. Send me a check again. I'm not supported by any of those projects. Feel free to do your own research. Myself, I have noticed this interesting project, so I thought it might be worth taking a look and understand for myself and share perhaps some information with others. Other than that, so far, I haven't done any business with that organization. Perhaps they're doing great work up there, so hopefully we can do some great things in the future. But currently, I don't know. So I'm not recommending anything, right? I'm not recommending. Once installed, they can browse the catalog, search for specific applications, and easily install and or manage open source software and on their devices, so that you can access on your devices, right? If it's something that you're interested in, since some of those software have what could be considered doors, right? Those doors can be very strong doors to enter when it comes to perhaps accessing some of the software, depending on the different countries, different regions, different software, different legal framework, perhaps complying with some of the legal framework, as well as different businesses competing with market share. So it's a mess up there. If anything, there's a big mess up there. If you're interested in learning more, I have published a book, Game Strategy. Within this book, I'm sharing a lot of information with people who are interested in business. If anything, it would be related to business, not necessarily, but that's a key area that I'm looking to cover within this book. Other books are about different subjects. Within this book, I'm focusing a lot on business and some of the concepts that people would need to know. If it's something that you perhaps are thinking of or starting perhaps, or if you're already having an existing business. So perhaps three different areas that would be if you're currently doing a lot of research or about trying to understand different areas, some of the ideas and implementation of those ideas. Or next area would be perhaps you already having existing business, perhaps you're looking to improve existing business, or if you perhaps have a lot of access to different resources and you're looking to invest or allocate those resources, right? So you can find this in a lot of information within this book and QR code in the corner or website below. Just to summarize this video, keep in mind that while F-Droid provides valuable resources for those seeking open source alternatives, it might not be offer the same breadth of application as large proprietary apps compared to alternatives out there. If anything, so there are some big boys up there at the table right now, and some new players. I'm taking a look at a lot of companies, right? If anything, some of those companies who are looking to set up and start their own operations, right? So perhaps some of those companies, smaller companies who are not doing that that much or don't have coverage or perhaps capital available to promote themselves. Well, either way, I'm looking to you. Perhaps, if anything, do not drop the ball, right? If anything, if I'm covering some of those projects, this is the hope I have for some of those projects, right? Do not drop the ball. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.